Welcome to episode number 129, All You Ever Wanted to Know About Press Kits.
And we're afraid to ask.
And we're afraid to ask. Exactly. So, a couple of things. What are press kits and how do I make one?
And why do you make one?
And why do you want to make one? So this is actually the rack for press kits at NBAA last year in the press room. And I was amazed how many press kits were not there.
Yeah, they have. We show here a picture of basically 4 columns, and I think there were 8 of places to put press kits.
Exactly. So this is an opportunity that not many people in the aviation industry take advantage of. And whether you're going to a show or not, this is something that can really help you get the attention of the media and also look a lot more large, professional, and become a source of information.
Well, and you don't want to just drop stuff off there, even if you do make a press kit, and then don't ever come back, because you need to go back at least daily to see if they've been taken, because typically they are. And we a couple times walked back in there and we're looking at that and decided putting more up to say, can I have one of those?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, sure. Here.
So we'll help you make a press kit that they actually want.
Yes.
And that will help you get the attention of the media, which is really nice.
Yeah, they don't want just random trash tossed in the thing.
Exactly.
Because it'll be randomly thrown out.
Right. So why do we do them? What goes in them? And what do they look like? Those are the 3 things we're going to be talking about today, right?
Okay.
Okay, so why create a press kit?
Why not?
Well, of all the things you have to do today, you don't need one more unless it's actually going to do you some good. But a press kit is actually worth the time and energy and money to put it together. And the reason is because free media is a wonderful thing. And, you know, when someone calls you with a question about a news event and needs an expert on X, Y, or Z, it's really great to be the one that they call. If you're at an event and you have the media come to your booth and want to talk about your product or service, that's even better. There's a lot of different circumstances under which a press kit will actually get you more visibility than if you didn't have one, right?
Yep.
Okay. So definitely worth doing and definitely worth the time. And they really don't take all that much time. They're usually using things that you already have in your office or that you're already using in one means or another. It's just making it more convenient for reporters, really.
Through combination and permutations of material you already have.
Right. So you think about providing good service to your customers. If you think about reporters as just a different variety of customer, you can just put yourself in a reporter's shoes and say, now, what are the kinds of things that I would need if I were writing a story about a topic that was related to something that you do, right? So this is all just an exercise in marketing, just like everything else, right?
Of course.
Okay. So what can go in a press kit? You want to think for stuff. Just random stuff. Right? No. Once again, you want to think from the perspective of your customer. And in this case, your customer is a reporter. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So some of the things you can put in there are like a company profile or a company backgrounder. Sometimes those are called, this is the history of our company kind of a thing, because in a lot of cases they'll be curious about that. Even if they have a specific question, they want to know the background or at least have that available to them if they want to use it.
Yeah, are you serious? Yeah, they want to know, are you actually in the business to be able to answer this question?
Right. And the better these materials are, the better they will work in a press kit. So you have a really, really good origin story or company profile, and it's going to work that much better in a press kit, just like it will work that much better everywhere else. Same thing with bios of key people. And the better these things are and the more attractive they are, the more eye-catching, the more concise, the more powerful each of these pieces are, the better it's going to work in your press kit. These are really important because in a lot of cases, news is about people. So they want to know who they're quoting. Whether or not they use any of the information from your bio, they want to feel really comfortable that you are an expert in this field before they will quote you on any particular thing, right? White papers and spec sheets, statistics, graphs, charts, they love that sort of thing, right?
Yes, they do.
And once again, the more visually attractive and concise you can make these materials, the better, especially in a press kit. Because these guys, I don't know if you know what's happening in the news media. I'm sure you do. Most of them are doing a lot more work with a lot fewer people. It used to be that people had a week or two to do a story, and they would have time to do a lot of research, and they would have time to make a lot of phone calls, have those phone calls returned, to do their story, to do the fact checking, to do all of those bits and pieces, and they had somebody else that could do all the research and fact checking and everything. Nowadays, these reporters are, in a lot of cases, they're doing their own background research, they're doing their own writing and their own editing, they're writing their own headlines, and they're doing their own typesetting. Of course, all of that is computerized now, but they only have hours where it used to be days to deadline.
So they're a one-man band.
They're a one-man band, and they are in a hurry.
Yep.
So if you think about this from their perspective, what is going to make things easier for them to write a really good, compelling story with some visual interest and that's going to look good in their publication?
So
right?
if you're a marketing person like Paula here, you can already pre-do it. They can look at it and say, I'll just lift that, poof, and put it right in there.
Yep,
They're
cut,
happy.
paste, cut, paste, cut, paste. And I do understand that there is a lot more involved in the profession, so I'm not trying to trivialize. If you are a reporter, you can send us hate mail if you want to, but I do have an awful lot of respect for reporters and the process that they go through. But the easier you can make this, the better, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Other things that you want, customer success stories. These are really, really good because what customers say about you is 1,000 times more credible than what you say about yourself.
Yep.
From a journalism perspective, you want verified information. So that's information that comes from more than one source. So if you say that about yourself and you have a customer quote that's backing that up with a phone number that the reporter can call and verify that information, that just
doesn't go to AI.
It doesn't go to a voicemail or a full mailbox. That's gold, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's verifiable information that is exactly what everybody's looking for and that everybody is really obsessed with these days, right? Verifiable facts. So, really quickly, company description, bios of key people, backgrounders on key issues, white papers and spec sheets, those kinds of things. Those backgrounders, just to go back a little bit, a lot of times the reporters that are assigned to your story may not be an expert in your field. And horror of horrors, they may not even be an aviation person. They may be just a muggle, a regular person that's been assigned to report on this particular issue. So if you can write those backgrounders at a very elementary level so that anybody could understand it, that's what they're shooting for the media. And, if they don't understand what you're talking about, you're not going to get a story written about you because they're going to be afraid. And they don't have time to learn your profession in order to write a good article.
Right.
Okay. White papers, spec sheets, charts, graphs, photographs, customer success stories, and other kinds of things. If you want to look at some really good examples, there are some great ones online, and we'll include some in the show notes. Here's one that actually is kind of interesting because it was written specifically for the Paris Air Show in 2017 by Dassault Falcon. And they have their backgrounders and they have their company information and they've got their bios of their people. They've got a ton of high-resolution, downloadable, beautiful photos of their aircraft, interiors, exteriors, whatever you need, with great lighting and fantastic definition and high contrast and all of the things that reporters really love. So, that's a really good example of a press kit. You may not have the resources to do something like that, and that's fine. Just do what you can with what you have, right? And if you think about this, you can always build on it for the next show or for the next event or even for the one that's regularly on your website. And we do recommend that you have a tab on your website for the press or for the media or something like that.
But make sure it's kept up to date.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to let it get stale. So add that to your list of things that you update about your website, maybe quarterly at least. Take a look at that, go through it, make sure there's nothing embarrassingly out of date, right?
Yeah, it doesn't take that much time, and then when they look, you can see that it was updated on 5 days ago or 5 weeks ago. not 5 years ago.
Right. When I worked with Wells Fargo, they used to update their press kit monthly because one of the main pages that people went to was a key statistics about Wells Fargo. You know, how many accounts does Wells Fargo have? How many checking accounts? How many business accounts? How many customers? How many services per customer? You know, those are all statistics that the media was all interested in, and Wells Fargo kept that up to date on a monthly or even weekly basis. If you're a small company, you may only need to revisit that once a quarter or even once a year, but it's still really an important thing to have up to date.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what they look like online. You can find some really good examples. What they look like in real life, these are the ones that we used for NBAA 2017.
Right.
And we used everything that we talked about earlier, but we also had it in some form of media. So we had CDs. You can also use USB drives. You can also make sure that every piece of paper that you have in these press kits has a link so that they can find it online, so that, you know, they have the piece of paper, but they can also get it online and they can cut and paste. And you don't know for sure that they have a CD drive or a USB drive because sometimes people don't anymore.
But in their business, they will have access to the internet.
That's true. So they will be able to get the soft copy of anything that you hand them. I like to give them a hard copy because it's physical. It makes it seem more real. They have the places for them. They're very traditional at aviation trade shows and other kinds of things. And also we like to provide some kind of treats for the media. It's obviously a bribe, and they don't care. You know, it's something that, you know, is not going to really influence their decisions about whether or not to publish our stories, but it's just to show a little bit of appreciation. We know you're here, we know you're working hard, and we know you're working for the industry same as we are. So here's a cookie. You know, it's not a terrible thing.
Right.
So our little flyer there says, you know, come to the dark side, we have cookies. So, you know, we're in advertising, they're in journalism, we understand that. We're the dark side of the publication industry, but that's okay. We have a little bit of fun with it, right?
Sure.
Okay. So we talked about why do them. We talked about what goes in them, and we talked about what they should look like. So we do have a tip sheet on our tip sheet page on our website, Aviation Press Kits, What, Why, and How. So you can download that and then have a nice little checklist that you can go through and make sure that your press kits are up to date and have everything in them that will do you some good. And once again, a lot of times this is just a matter of assembling things that you already have and making it a little bit more convenient for that very important customer set, which is journalists, right?
And you don't have to have hundreds of them when you go to the show, but 15 or 20 wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, for NBAA, and even 10 for some of the smaller shows would be way plenty. But as long as you come prepared, those are really nice to have. And then if you have it online, of course, that's always an option as well in case you run out, or just to have for the rest of the year when you're not at a show. Journalism goes on even. So, and that's another thing that people don't consider, is that journalism actually is a little bit different than it used to be. It used to be just the aviation magazines, the show dailies, and those other things. But now you've got podcasters, and you've got bloggers, and you've got other people. And if you treat them like journalists as well, they're always looking for guests, they're always looking for facts, they're always looking for information, they're always looking for interesting stories. So there's a lot more places to get your story published, and a lot more people that you can approach if you make it easy for them, and the easiest way to do that is with a good press kit, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, thank you for joining us. If you would like to have us put a press kit together for you, that is a service that we offer. You can go ahead and just click the Let's Talk button on the left-hand side of our website, and we can have a real quick conversation about what you have and what you need and how to put this together in a way that's really professional and really effective for you. Right?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.
We'll see you next time.